This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
When we lose an innocent life, that's not something we want to happen. So we'll look at all of it with a fine-tooth comb and see where we can make improvements.
An innocent life lost when a driver running from police crashed into a car that had nothing to do with the chase. We look into police policy. Could anything have been done to prevent the loss of life?
Indianapolis names a new police chief. He will be tasked with helping curb the crime issues plaguing the Circle City. His goals and the event in his life that could shape how he approaches the job.
The wind will finally calm down tonight. I've got your hourly forecast to the new year.
It's New Year's Eve, and many of you will take an Uber or Lyft to get to and from your celebrations. A warning about a charge that could pop up on your bill, a charge you may not even deserve.
Well, Indianapolis has named a new police chief. His name is Randall Taylor. He's a longtime member of IMPD. We look at his resume and find out about his plans to combat the growing crime problem in just moments.
But first, with the new police chief comes new policies. An innocent man was killed yesterday in a wreck caused by a driver who led police on a chase. Now Call 6 Investigates Stephanie Wade is searching for answers. If officers followed proper protocol and if this death could have been prevented.
It's a terrible incident. Our condolences go out to the family. We wish it hadn't happened.
A 64-year-old man is now dead after a suspect Metro Police were chasing crashed into his car near Pendleton and Oak Landon. IMPD says the suspect refused to pull over, leading them on a chase into Hancock County, then back into Marion County. Sadly, it ended here when the suspect slammed into a car that had nothing to do with the case or the chase.
During yesterday's police pursuit, an innocent bystander was killed. Do we know if there's any way to prevent that and if the police pursuit policy was followed?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't taken a look at all those facts right now. Based on what I know, the officers would have been within the policy that we currently have.
Newly appointed Assistant Police Chief Chris Bailey calls their current pursuit policy liberal. But about a month ago, just before retiring, Chief Brian Roach updated the policy, making it more restrictive when officers are allowed to chase suspects. He says they're now in the process of training officers on it. Under
the current policy, you can chase for traffic infractions, misdemeanors, felonies. Under the new policy, it's restricted to no infraction violations without some other articulable reason why we may be conducting that pursuit.
An investigation, however, will still take place.
We'll take a look at it like we do all major and critical incidents within the agency and see what we can do better, to see if we did something we shouldn't have, and then make those corrections as we move forward.
Working for you, I'm Call 6 Investigates Stephanie Wade.
And we will put a full copy of IMPD's pursuit policy on our website at theindychannel.com and keep you updated if anything comes from the investigation.
The Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department has a new leader, as we've mentioned. Today, Mayor Joe Hogsett announced that Randall Taylor has been named police chief for IMPD. Taylor started his career in law enforcement with the Champaign, Illinois Police Department in 1987. He served there for 6 years before joining the Marion County Sheriff's Department in 1993 and eventually IMPD. Taylor has served as Assistant Chief of Investigation since 2016, working to improve communication between the community and IMPD. He says he wants to build more trust between police and the residents of Indianapolis in hopes of making the city safer. Taylor says he knows what it's like to be impacted by violence and wants to prevent others from feeling the same pain.
1998, Fort Wayne, Indiana. My father-in-law was murdered by a juvenile. So trust me when I tell you, I understand what families go through when these kind of things happen here. That event, I think, has spurred me on to make sure that families get treated the way they need to be.
Taylor takes over for former IMPD Chief Brian Roach, who is retiring.
And breaking news from Call 6 Investigates, 2 more anchor stores are planning to leave Washington Square Mall. Dick's Sporting Goods has posted a sign inside the store saying its last day of business is this upcoming Sunday. An employee tells RTV6 that Burlington Coat Factory plans to close sometime in January. This decision comes as the mall had come under new management this past August. Cincinnati-based Durga Property was working to turn things around since buying takeover the property last summer. Now, the property manager is telling people on social media that he is still committed to fixing the property. The company invested in improved lighting and adding security. No response yet from the corporate offices of Burlington and Dick's Sporting Goods.
Just after 6 o'clock on this New Year's Eve, the night is young. Between now and midnight, it won't be as windy. Winds will still gust over 20, but it will be dry. That's one of the key things, with steady temperatures at or just below the freezing mark. Temperature to the north, Logansport, one of the cool spots at 30. Marion, you're just below the freezing mark as well. Above freezing, though, anywhere from Spencer over toward Greensburg and south, Bedford and Seymour at 36. The wind will still gust over 20 miles per hour. But I think the really higher gusts that we've had over the last 24 to 48 hours will diminish. And 8 o'clock temperature, 31 by the time we get to midnight, 30 degrees. I'll detail the changes ahead in the forecast coming up.
Well, it's New Year's Eve, and that means many people in central Indiana will be using ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft. But before you schedule a ride, we want to warn you about a charge that could pop up on your bill. Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny found some Indiana consumers on the hook for cleanup fees for damage they say they didn't even cause.
When you use a ride-sharing service like Uber or Lyft, you might get mud on the seat, get sick, or even spill something. Consumers say they were charged for damage they didn't make. It's a problem riders have dubbed vomit fraud. B. McLaughlin uses Lyft to get from her internship to her apartment. It's a quick 2-mile ride near Keystone at the crossing that costs about $6, but not this time.
Got a notification 2 days later saying I had been charged $100 for Lyft damages.
The Lyft driver accused B of leaving a blood stain. B is adamant it wasn't her.
I think it's just ridiculous.
You didn't bleed all over the back seat?
No, I didn't.
Okay, and so you actually noticed it when you got in, you say?
Yeah, and it didn't actually look like blood. It looked like somebody had spilled like coffee or juice or something.
When she reached out to Lyft customer service, they sided with the driver and refused to give B her money back.
So I just got no information other than the driver saying that I was their last female passenger and that's why I was being charged.
B's dad, Jim, contacted Call 6 Investigates.
I'm reaching out because I'm an enraged father.
Jim says while many people may not notice a $100 charge, he says his daughter is a broke college student.
You're guilty until proven innocent. And how do you disprove a negative? I mean, that's basically what this whole thing has been about.
B is not alone. Call 6 Investigates found hundreds of customers across the country have filed reports to several organizations, including the Better Business Bureau. This Florida man says he was charged $100 for vomiting in the back of a Lyft.
It definitely made me feel very taken advantage of. And then when Lyft just kind of shrugged it off, it just made me feel gaslit, like I'm just lying or I'm just being dramatic.
The BBB says vomit fraud complaints are on the rise. Passengers claiming Lyft and Uber drivers wrongly charged them damage fees for things like scratches, food stains, and even dog feces.
Who knows exactly when this damage occurred, who did this damage?
Tim Maniscalco with the Central Indiana BBB says ride-sharing companies need a system that's fair to consumers.
I think it's important that they do get the right person who has actually caused the damage and not accuse just anyone on maybe some flimsy evidence. But I think they should do a very thorough investigation, and before you accuse somebody and charge somebody for it, have the evidence and have the investigation done.
Lyft policy says you can be charged up to $250 for damage. Uber's website says small messes can cost you $20, vomit $40, and bodily fluid damage can cost you $150. We sent this list of questions to Lyft about B's $100 bloodstain charge, and later that day, B got an email refunding about half of the damage fee. The company says her claim was handled in accordance with Lyft policy. We take damage disputes such as these very seriously. Lyft's support team investigates each incident individually and makes a determination based on the evidence available. Lyft says evidence documents can include statements from all people involved, photographs, and prior feedback.
It is not the driver's obligation to clean up after passengers.
Bea and Jim McLaughlin say ride-sharing companies need to better investigate damage claims before charging customers, even if it means putting cameras in vehicles.
I know it would be a hassle, but, you know, it would keep people like me from being charged for something that they didn't do.
To protect yourself, take a picture of your seat before you ride and again after your ride. Now, if you did the damage, pay the fee. If you did not, file a dispute with your credit card company and the ride-sharing company. Working for you, I'm Call 6 Investigates, Kara Kenny.
Well, you can also protect yourself by looking at the ratings for the drivers and making sure you understand the company's policies before you ride. Uber provided the following statement on vomit fraud, quote, participating in fraudulent activity of any kind is a clear violation of our community guidelines. We are constantly evaluating our processes and technology related to these claims and will take appropriate action whenever fraud may be detected, end quote.
And if you're going out to celebrate the new year and you don't want to drive, there are a couple of free options for you. Indigo is offering free New Year's Eve rides. Fares will not be charged from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. And Lyft will offer free rides up to $10 in value, but you need to download a code to be eligible. You can find a link to that code and more information about the deal in the RTV6 app and our website, theindychannel.com. And if you're still trying to figure out where to go to ring in the new year, we have a list of events you may be interested in, also up on the RTV6 app and theindychannel.com.
Let's give you a live look at Times Square in New York City from EarthCam. A little less than 6 hours until the ball drops in the new year. You can see that massive people down there already gathered. They're jockeying for their positions there.
And if you want to watch this from the comfort of your home, we have you covered. Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest begins at 8 p.m. You'll see performances from Post Malone, Alanis Morissette, Sam Hunt, and more.
Again, that's at 8 o'clock only here on RTV6, and be sure to join us for RTV6 News at 11.
And as the calendar turns to 2020, another gambling option comes to Central Indiana.
That tops the RTV6 News feed. Beginning tomorrow, 2 local horse track casinos will be allowed to have table games with live dealers for the first time ever. For years, Harrah's Hoosier Park in Anderson and Indiana Grand Racing and Casino in Shelbyville have pushed for the change that they hope will draw more gamblers. Those 2 casinos have only had electronic games since 2008. Indiana Grand Casino will have more than 40 tables for games such as blackjack, craps, and roulette, and Hoosier Park will have nearly 30 tables.
An Indianapolis man is dead after crashing into a fire truck on I-69 in Grant County. Indiana State Police say a semi had wrecked on northbound I-69 this morning, so firefighters and state police were helping with that situation. That's when a Honda Element lost control and crashed into the parked fire truck. The driver of the Honda, 43-year-old Charles Finney, died. It is not yet clear what caused Finney to lose control of his vehicle.
And now still ahead, hiring college students.
No, we're not talking about for the school bookstore or fast food restaurant.
Yeah, one company making a new product that aims to prevent water damage to your home wants to hire students. We'll show you the jobs that are available.
A New Year's Eve matinee for the Pacers and an eye-popping final score against an Eastern Conference rival. I'm Brad Brown at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. We'll recap the Pacers' big win over the Sixers coming up in sports.
Ordinarily, you might say some of the temperatures I have in the 7-day forecast are eye-popping, but since we've been there so often during the month of December, can't really say that. But a warming trend through Friday, then temperatures drop off for the weekend. More details straight ahead.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN. This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
For the past year, RTV6's Hiring Hoosiers has been our commitment to connect you to jobs and training programs.
Tonight, a growing company prepares to launch a new product. It's already proving its commitment to college students. I check in with DryBot and the people making it. William Gallagher is part of a team working on a new device hitting the market next month that could provide peace of mind for homeowners around our state.
And I think it's going to be probably one of our best products that we've ever launched, and by far the most successful.
The motorsport engineering student at IUPUI is among the first generation of student workers producing what's known as DryBot.
I receive them, build the whole unit, as well as do a little bit of testing and ship them out.
Samantha Miller is a senior studying mechanical engineering. She's working on the DryBot 2, a home prevention appliance protecting against groundwater flooding in homes and reducing potential damage. The high-tech sump pump will communicate with your smartphone.
It's amazing, the technology that they have that they're working on. It's just revolutionary.
As DryBot launches, the company is looking to the future, hoping to hire up to 150 workers, mainly students, over the next year. Student employees will assemble, test, and ship DryBot from this facility, working in a style called cell-based manufacturing, which differs from an assembly line. Instead, students are trained in multiple areas of the assembly process, enabling them to build a DryBot from start to finish or pick up on a project where another team has left off. This opens up some scheduling freedom, which could be key for college students.
The schedule that you work is super flexible. You can make your own hours. If you have to leave early to study or to do something else, they're very, very aware of your needs.
If I need to take time off for school, all I have to do is just text my boss.
The DryBot company has laid out a commitment to help students since the company's founder and managers worked their way through college.
We're sympathetic and we understand the plight of the college student trying to balance studying, working to make money, and then trying to limit their debt as much as possible.
The perks include high wages for student workers, free on-site lunch once a week, free on-the-clock workout classes, a retirement match even for part-time workers, and that flexible scheduling. Another perk, the company provides transportation for students to get to and from campus with these DryBot bikes. The hope is through providing perks and opening a door to college students, graduates may be enticed to stay in the Hoosier State with a career-ready opportunity.
So there are constant opportunities here to advance and to test your knowledge and try to get better and challenge yourself every single day.
Well, the DryBot company is already working on plans to expand its facility, allowing for 24-hour access for its student workers. We've provided a link for you on our website, hiringhoosiers.com. Just click on this story.
As we put December behind us, we look in the rearview mirror, find 7.6 inches of snow this month. Now, for the season, we've had 10.4, just a little above the average. No snow tonight or tomorrow. Maybe Saturday we'll have some snow showers. 27 in Fort Wayne to 39 in Evansville. Our temperature in Indianapolis has been between 32 and 35 all day long, not moved at all. What we will see is the wind calm down a little bit. And I say calm down. Remember, we had 45-mile-per-hour gusts yesterday. We'll still see wind gusts to 20 through the evening hours. As we go beyond, temperatures as we get to midnight around 30 degrees, partly to mostly cloudy, and that wind west 15 to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, one of the biggest changes, more consistent sunshine returns. By noon, 38 degrees. Afternoon temperature close to 45. The wind will gust to 20, especially in the afternoon hours tomorrow. There, the temperatures fairly uniform across all of central Indiana. This is a base temperature from which will warm up Thursday and Friday. With the warm-up, though, will come an increasing chance for this. Rain returns. Should be fairly widespread rain, certainly through Friday. Temperatures Thursday. We nudge 50 degrees in Indianapolis and areas south. I think the rain will start from southern Indiana and then lift to the north. It'll take longer to reach areas Lafayette to Muncie and north. Here's your latest rainfall potential. Could see half an inch to an inch in the metro area. Some 1 inch amounts down along the Ohio River. That is through Friday night. The change as we head to the weekend, temperature falls. Any remaining moisture will switch over to snow showers. 37 the temperature Saturday, 41 on Sunday. Early next week, temperature still right around 40 degrees. Here's your 7-day planner. Have a great, safe night tonight. Roads will be dry. Temperatures tomorrow with some sunshine at 44. Wet Thursday and Friday. Then some snow showers return to the picture on the Saturday. That happens to be our coolest day of the weekend and early next week. An exciting day today in Banker's Life. Here's Brad.
Kevin, thanks. Indeed, the rare afternoon game here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The Pacers closing out 2019 against the Philadelphia 76ers. In fact, we still have some basketball going on here. Your eyes do not deceive you. They have not shrunk the Pacers. In fact, right now, we got some kids from St. Ignatius on the court here. Once they cleared out the fieldhouse, these kids got a chance to take the court, playing a little 4-on-4 here. Some good action going on at the end of the afternoon. These kids are wearing blue and gold, and I got to tell you, the blue and gold looked good earlier today as well. So let's get a look at the highlights today. Pacers-Sixers got started off with a 2-point margin in the first quarter, but the second quarter was an absolute dominating performance by the Pacers today. T.J. McConnell to Domantas Sabonis, huge dunk down the lane. And he brought Victor Oladipo off the bench. Domas led the Pacers with 23 points, 10 rebounds today. A huge run after that. T.J. Warren led the way the rest of the second quarter. Three-pointer put the Pacers up by 19. Warren was 9 of 9 from the field in the first half, 21 points before the break, scored on the dunk as well, a 38-16 second quarter. Pacers built a lead as many as 35 points in the second half of this one. By the time the third quarter rolled around, they had it on cruise control. Sabonis to Miles Turner, 35 assists on 42 field goals today. That's a season high in assists for the Pacers. They kept that lead up above 24. It was this kind of day off the inbound. The easy steal, easy step, easy three for Jeremy Lamb. 7 players in double figures. Joel Embiid didn't play for the Sixers today, and they frankly look very average without it. The game wasn't as close as the final margin, but a big win for the Pacers, 117-95.
You know, it's confidence, hitting shots, that helps obviously. And then once you get hot, sometimes it's contagious. You know, guys just the confidence kind of just flows through the group, and individually I think guys play well.
We knew this Philly team was coming off 2 in a row as well, so they would be hungry. So, you know, we locked down defensively, and yesterday in practice went pretty hard and prepared for them. So credit to the coaches and us, you know, executing the game plan.
We had a good day yesterday as a team. You know, we came in, we got some work in. I feel like we got better. Malcolm was back in the lineup, you know, so it helped everyone get organized, and I think today showed.
Pacers now 5th in the East, only a half game behind Toronto for 4th place. Of course, that would be that last home court spot if the playoffs rolled around right now. And only 2.5 by Miami for 2nd place in the East. Everybody, of course, chasing Milwaukee right now. The Bucks are running away with things right now. Pacers are back home on Thursday. They'll open 2020 with a game against the Nuggets here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Then a little bit of back and forth. Got a long road trip coming up later in January when Disney on Ice comes to town. Also, the Butler Bulldogs are in action tonight. They open Big East play at St. John's. We'll take a look at that coming up tonight at 11. Time for a final break. Back to wrap up the news at 6 next.
Well, thanks for making RTV6 your choice for news.
Yeah, join us for New Year's Rockin' Eve at 8 o'clock. We'll be back with you in just a half hour for the news at 7.
We'll see you then.